Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We are out on the Eastern 8, which used to be a Rebel route and got put officially into game about 2 years ago. Zwift Insider, big thank you to them. This is an awesome course, Dave. It is the final round of the Zwift Racing League. Well, final race of the first round of the Zwift Racing League for this season. We've got a lot of sprinting, a little bit of climbing, some KOMs, Queen of the Mountains, that are rolling. I would call them mainly flat with a punch at the end usually. And it's a lot of segments, a lot of sprint points on board here. And I think the two races we're going to be covering, very heated when it comes to the competition today.
I couldn't agree more. You know, one thing about today, Nathan, is that it favors the sprinters for sure. But most of these riders have so much all-around talent out here that it seems like when you say it favors the sprinters, that means expect a wide open day because there's going to be all kinds of metrics at play out there. What I should say is really dynamic on these kind of days. Not even the first sprint, I saw that you were recording that wasn't a standard sprint at all. And we'll have a chance to look at that replay as we jump into the action. This group is a murderer's row of racers. When you look at the quality, you would think that this was the premier. And actually, a lot of these riders will be with us on Fridays in the Zwift Grand Prix. No doubt about it. But I think you found the very, very highest level of esports on the planet to jump in with here today. And these guys are ready to just go to town on a course that does sprint the rider, that has that not just watts per kilo. That's what we seem to talk about 90% of the time. This is a raw watt fest.
You know, Dave, I was going to show us the map, but as you were saying this, we'll take a look at the replay in just a second, but they're just going nuts. Like these guys, it's just non-stop. Lexi Kalman is off the front. We're 7K into this race. Yep. And it has been, so we will get a replay for everybody of the first sprint. It was kind of interesting because it ended up being a breakaway situation. And there was people going for the FTS. We'll get the points up as quickly as we possibly can. And we're looking at the Africa Open right now for the EMEA part of the world. This is going to be the A1 men. And this has been, after the first sprint, this is all we have seen is over and over again, attack after attack, trying to form something off the front end of this race. It's been nonstop power blast off the front. I absolutely love it. Final race of the season, Dave, and the gloves are totally off. I actually had Gel Power here giving a little bit of go. Lexi Kalman, those two now off the front, and they are looking forward, I think, Dave, to the reverse KOM over on Titans Grove. That's what they're looking forward to. That's going to be the next spot. That there's going to be some uphills. Now, I think what they're really trying to do, though, is before they even hit that uphill, is to cause some separation between them and the pack, because as soon as it starts heading uphill, there's going to be a little bit of advantage against anybody who's tired out the legs prior to hitting that climb. So a lot of times you're looking for some space on a break like this. You see Toyota Coyote T looking to try and go across. Kalman, Power, and then Toyota Coyote T getting in here. This is going to be three teams off the front. Vyazin just sitting on the front. Of course, the Duck is here. I mean, talk about the who's who of racing right now amongst this crowd. Look at the orange numbers, Dave. You'd think we're in the middle of a sprint right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, so when you look at this, and we talked about the quality of riders that we've got out here today, Nathan, Lionel Vyazin is someone that I would really be keying on out here. We should talk about, I mean, this is the sixth race, and the point structure that we have, it's not anything close to a point-to-point bike race, the standard scratch race. We've got all the fastest through segments. We've got the sprints coming up. This is, wow, look at this effort right now here as they're attacking out of this breakaway here, even as it starts to get caught. It's insane how dynamic this is. Let's take a look here at the actually, let's just watch this action before we jump in and look at the points, Nathan, because these guys are just having at it now. Body blow after body blow being thrown out here. And this is only 8.7K in. These aren't breakaways per se. These are jailbreaks, point raids, to tell you the truth, because we've got over 50K
they've started dropping people
today.
Though, Dave. Like, there's already people off the back on this flat section of course. People have already been caught out. 4 seconds back now, 5 seconds back. I mean, some of these riders,
people getting dropped isn't a breakaway per se. It's just an unbelievably hard race. And
it's like being in the middle of a gigantic flat in Belgium with the huge crosswind, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing
And
you
when
can
the
do about
splits
it.
happen, right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, and, I mean, that's a really good analogy, actually, Nathan, because these starts, it was interesting to watch in the Women's Grand Prix last week how they were very, very, tactical in how they approached the beginning of that race, and then it went bananas. These guys really the tactic is completely different. I mean, take a look at this again, and now we got Lionel Vias and the Duck is in the mix, Nathan. This is absolutely mental. What's going on out here? We're not even into 10K of racing, and we've got yet another judge. We should talk about fastest through segments first across the line because there's a lot of bonification in this race, Nathan, before we get to the finish line where the lion's share of the points are waiting. Not everyone is going to survive even through the first 10K. We've already seen that. Wait till you see what happens here on the. So you're right. It's not a climber's race, but there's a couple almost bergs to work with out here. Short, steep pitches, and wow. I mean, look at this split right now. Look at the quality of riders that are up in this front group.
Yeah, and
Power,
Dave,
Piaston, Hunt, Jonas.
this
Good
kind of a
grief,
group
listen.
here off the front, this is danger, right? And part of the reason I think they're going like this is it's such a long race too. You have the time to wear people down over and over and over again, and enough of this is essentially is going to eventually break the group. So you have a little extra, I think, motivation from the riders to say, look, if we put the pressure on enough and believe in our strength, and plus maybe they just want a really good workout, we can make something happen here. And it looks to me like Coalition are taking the bull by the horns and making it happen because it's been Gel Power. It's now we can see Kaminsky, and it's been Vyasen that really have been the instigators, it looks like, alongside of the Danish team. I think that we've seen doing a lot of work here as well.
Not only Danish team, but look how many Danish flags there are with riders riding on other teams out here. Denmark is quickly becoming the top esport nation, or not quickly. I mean, I even think right now, if you look at it, Nathan, absolutely amazing what's happening. I'm going to guess, I'll look it up here in a moment, the population of Denmark is less than 10 million in my mind. And I mean, the Tour de France winner coming from there with Vingegaard, it's absolutely incredible. So this is going to be, yet speaking of another Danish, Alexei Kalman, that we're with here. So this group in the split, Nathan, is almost as big, not quite, but almost as big as the chase group behind them. And you start looking at the shift in power here, and Power's a Gel Power is in this group. I don't know that this comes back together. They're attacking out of the breakaway right before this steep little pitch that they hit here now. Mike, this is just bananas out here.
They're almost out of sight. 7 seconds, and they are smashing this section of course. In the chase here, 2.8 watts per kilogram. They've got enough representation, Dave. I think they have enough representation. And is Toyota up there? The Toyota Carter team make it? They did. I believe they did.
Oh, they might even have two. For sure they have one. So that is really a great thing to analyze, Nathan.
May have missed
teams
out.
aren't represented.
BL13 may have missed out. I am not seeing anyone from BL13. That is a huge upset for BL13. With the kind of quality that we see up here, that is really surprising. They trusted too much. And look who's working. Look who goes right to the front here. 4 of them.
That's a great indicator on what team is being caught out, and that's all BL13. Nathan, they're just not having the season that they were hoping for this year. I'm a big fan of this team and program, and I know they're going to be back. Let's see what they can do out here today. They're easy to cheer for. They always activate races, and certainly they put the carbonation in the water, that's for sure, and bring the bubble. This is going to be, again, BL13 in the yellow and orange kit. A lot of concept bikes there on the front. Good bike choice for today, that's for sure. Over 50K of racing. BL13, Nathan caught that one. They're definitely looking for some help. And is it going to be some help they are receiving? And very nice for them now.
DBRT,
as other riders want to participate.
Did DBRT not make this, or are they just slowing things down at the front? Because I do see DBRT here. Yeah, there's definitely at least Lynn is here.
They're helping.
From
DBR. What? They are helping. As a roll through, that's going to be a Kalish rider, isn't it? That's rolling through now. We're kind of analyzing this chase
this is the
group.
Front group. This is the front group now. Now we're back with the front group.
There.
Yep, and we're just starting to climb, it looks like here. So we're just starting to get into the KOM. So the segment does start here. This is where things are going to really ramp up, and the fastest through segment really matters, as well as the first across the line. So as we see them roll through this section, are they going to start ramping it up to get the fastest through segment, as those riders that are on the that are off the front might be looking more for the FAL? And sure enough, Here comes BL13 to the front. They may be playing more of their cards along the points game, as we do see them bumping it up to 5.2 watts per kilogram at the bottom here, looking to maybe carry the rest of their BL13 riders in the pack to a fastest through segment rather than worrying about the first across the line that will be those riders up ahead most likely. So will they close it down enough to then on the roll on down on the other side of this KOM perhaps be able to catch? The thing is, though, a lot of times that's about the snowball effect of how large the group is, and that breakaway has enough riders there to snowball all by themselves. They're a bobsled compared to an avalanche, and I think the bobsled might be able to stay away. Britain now goes to the front. It looks like we got a little bit of an attack, though, going out from here just a moment ago, and it came back for a second. It is going to be DBR. Now, 6.2 watts per kilogram to the front there with Berthelsen. So this is bringing it back to 13. It was out to 15 seconds for just a moment, Dave. Who's driving the pace at the front is going to be my question, because I saw 6-7 watts per kilogram. It is going to be Vyasen and Power now to the front alongside of some of the other coalition riders.
I don't think these guys are coming back, to tell you the truth. And I would actually, I'm gonna guess that most of the fastest through segment points go to this group as well. There's just so much quality up here, Nathan. There's a reason why that 15-second split happened. Those riders caught in the back group now, they've really got to try to do a kick save here to try to, I would agree that their best bet now is to load up, go for gusto on the fastest through segment and try to get those points, because this group is obviously going to be gobbling up, I think, both, to tell you the truth. But you might as well try to take some out of the mouth of the wolf. As we take a look at, speaking of the wolf, that's the duck that fights like a wolf, that's for sure. Lionel Vyasen, the Belgian there, one of the top esports racers of this of his sports history, to tell you the truth, as we're in with the front group at this point. Nathan, the gap, it looks like about 18 seconds right now back to the chase. So my money's on these guys. We've got a long way to go, but again, now we're starting to see some attacks. This is going to be Nicholas Pedersen, silver medalist at the World Championships in his career.
Oh, look at the attacks, Dave. These guys want to bring this back. That's for sure. Schultz, Van Eyck is here as well. Creating confusion. Yeah, they want a bridge. You're right. They want to just say, forget, you're not bringing it back. You're 100% right there, Dave. They want to drop anybody from behind and not bring anybody with. Pio Otto on the attack. Pedersen going. And because they started this FTS later, if they do bridge and they come across around just the first across the line, they will get the FTS. Pedersen, what a move by him at 196 beats per minute.
This is
huge move.
Yeah, only a few could do this. What he is accomplishing here is absolutely, I would say, PhD level Zwifting. He's got a huge engine. He's motivated. And we just watched a guy show you how it's done. So he must have made a bit of a misstep or got caught out of position there a little bit earlier. But that is a monster move.
This is right down to it, though, Dave. It's about to level out. The sprint's about to open up front here. I'm not sure they're going to make the catch in time. It's still 4 seconds up the road, and here they go. They're opening up in the front group. Here's Yeldins goes. It's going to be Kaminsky, Kalman right to the line together. Pio Otto's on their wheel with Lyson. Lyson's going to come right on through these boys, always with the big kick, and it's going to be Joachim Lyson, Kalman, it looks like, Kaminsky, then Yeldins. That's the 4. They got a little bit of a gap, but that's going to be brought back, and then we're going to find our actual front group of this race. 4 seconds back is 5:10. Oh, there's quite a little bit of distance here between these riders now at this point, but Pedersen may have grabbed, along with a few others, that FTS because they were within striking distance, I think, of it because of how much distance they had closed behind. We'll have to take a look at the points in just a moment, but I would not be surprised if our man that was looking to come across Nielsen and Pedersen were able to grab a few points there. But this is going to get interesting, Dave, because this is not very predictable at this point about what's going to happen with these 2 to 3 groups that are up front. Something new is going to form, but it's not sure what exactly it is yet.
What a frenetic race we've got going on. And I wonder now, do things stabilize? Nathan, I don't know if we have a chance to, but it's been so exciting through the first 20 minutes of racing here that we really haven't even gone back and look at where things. I know you put the board up, but I think I just kept talking about other things. These are the points so far today.
First sprint. Right, that's the first sprint.
Okay, great.
Not including what we just saw.
First sprint. This helps illustrate what we're talking about, though, because FAL first across the line, FTS fastest through segment, and you can see that in this case, a lot of Danish flags, but it's going to be Flashberg there, who's the wins that sprint. So those points are in the bank. They that number is going to remain constant. And with fastest through segments, these can update, but they don't today because they only go through that segment one time. It's a complicated course that they're racing on, but these points then will remain 20, and you can see the real value fastest through segment, and that's going to be Becker picking those up. And it looks like, and the way those points are structured there, you can see obviously that they had a great run there. 15 for Christensen. It's going to be Lisson with 10. And then, the point structure is different for first across the line or fastest through segment. More points scored in fastest through segment. First across the line is linear, going from 10 down to 1.
This is interesting, Dave. Now we've got this chase in earnest behind because you do not want to get left out. If you don't make this juncture before they hit the flat sections of this course, I think because they're about to hit Oceans Boulevard, which is a long, steady flat, right? With some downhill all through here. The speeds are going to be high. This is probably going to come back together. I mean, look at how big this group is behind here. 5 seconds. And the group up ahead looks like they've kind of chilled out at this point, and they're allowing, I think, this group to chase them back. 6 seconds. If they come off of this section, this Titans Grove reverse descent with 5 seconds, I would continue on. But outside of that, it does look like with the speeds behind, they're most likely going to get caught, it seems to me.
I would agree. Before we get into the action on Fuego Flat again, Nathan, I would anticipate that what you're saying will be correct. But boy, the fight, it just never really lets up out here. And this is a long day. And I would say the trend has been to move to shorter, more intense races. This one is longer, but the intensity has remained the same. So we certainly didn't lose anything in the intensity department, did we?
Not at all. Speaking of intensity, right from the get-go, Dave, that's how things were playing out. Let's take a quick look at how things played out. Quick little look at the replay from this first go that we saw just a little bit
Seems
ago.
like a lifetime ago.
So this was the beginning of the race. Jarland immediately off the front. We had attacks right from the get-go, and I think that this was allowed to go partially because of the FAL. There's just the reality that the FAL is not quite as powerful on the day as your FTS. So it does look like DBR and Fusion were allowed a little bit of wiggle room and able to grab that FAL. And then there were some FTS points that we saw earlier. So just showing this really quickly as a replay to give you an idea of what things were like right from the get-go of this race. It wasn't like, and then immediately following this sprint, you'll see how this just plays out here, but then immediately following the sprint, Alexei Kalman was flying off the front. We'll see if we can bring that in here just a second here. So Kalman attacking out of the group right from the get-go, actually. Becker here and a few others, but you'll see it in just a second here. I believe Kalman attacks. Yeah, there it is. Full gas. No, Pedersen. Right. Excuse me. It's actually Pedersen from PO Auto. Goes right from the get-go, and I believe Kalman looks to follow it up pretty quickly here. Pedersen goes power, and that's where the first attacks after the sprint, after everybody threw down a ton of energy to try and grab that first Fuego flat sprint. So that's where things all started to form. Then obviously we headed on over toward the KOM that we just watched, and now we are back on over toward Oceans Boulevard, 19K in to our racing, and the front group has just been caught. There was one last-ditch effort from Vyazin, it looked like, to try and hold off, as well as a few others from that Coalition and Canyon team. But now it's all back together with this front group. I wouldn't say necessarily Peloton because I believe there's still plenty of chasers. This is only 35 riders, Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's the biggest group on course, but you're right. It would reduced Peloton would certainly sound like an appropriate phrase here as we take a look at the heavy hitters rolling along. And at this point now, that fastest through segment call was astute. Although I was thinking to myself, kind of like stepping over $1 to pick up a dime going, but that's not really true because if you think about it, you got to take your chances where you can. And if they're going to give you a little bit of leash on that for the first across the line points, then you might as well go for it. If you're not going to get anything when the big dogs are hunting for the first across the line, that's some real intense racing. Just like we've got right now. This Coalition is back at it here, Nathan.
Non-stop.
little sector. Yeah, this has been ruthless today.
Absolutely love it. And here goes Pullmeyer. And as they hit this dirt section, I think that's what they're looking to do is cause a little bit of separation between the riders. The speeds are insane. 55 kilometers per hour, as we saw for a moment. It'll slow down through the dirt. There's going to be a left-hand turn into Ocean Boulevard. Always a great section to try and make something happen. It's not usually through the downhill into the ocean, the underground tunnel, but it's actually immediately following the descent into the underground tunnel. A rider who's at the back, as it flattens out, can take that speed and roll right on through. One of my favorite places to try and make a move is actually at the bottom of here. But instead, it looks, I think this is actually going to be Gel Power. Yep, making the move off the front, 11 watts per kilogram coming from the man here. 1 second. Interesting move here to make because that pack is going to come rolling a little bit up onto his wheel, I would think, but we'll see if anybody looks to jump across. 55 kilometers per hour. It looks like the pack's not going to speed it up at 51. So showing me that you can also do it from the top to the bottom, not just bottom to top here, Dave.
If you're Gel Power, you can. That's pretty impressive, actually, right there. When you think about the dynamic, obviously, if I was on another team outside of the Canyon Coalition Squad here, I would be thinking, sure, let's let him sit out there for a while, just 3-4 seconds off the front of the group, because that's one of our hopes to wear him out is to let him do this right now. If riders do go across the bridge, it'd be interesting to start building up and stacking a breakaway up because that'd be one key ingredient. He's like the sugar in the cake. All you need is some flour and butter, and all of a sudden you got a very dangerous breakaway. Although I feel like I'm sort of channeling my inner Nathan now. We still do have 30K of racing to go. And they'll be going back over Titans Grove again here. This course gives you a little bit of everything. It's certainly now the women are in the pen. Should give a shout out to our EMEA West Women's Division 1 field that will be enjoying racing here in just a few seconds. So they look like they're ready to go. Nathan, the guys are well into it, almost to the midway point of their race as we welcome everyone to the final day of racing for the season here, the regular season of racing. Amongst the many thousands and thousands of racers, I'm glad we found two really exciting ones to cover today.
2 minutes to go to the start of the women's race, and I'm seeing all the big names. WLC has showed up. I did see Coralie Arthur there. I do see Electric Spirit Company. I got a little tip that Electric Spirit Co. have some sort of new pickup to their roster I need to be watching out for, so we'll be on the lookout for that. I am seeing SZ as well as Draft. Roca Corba, they're here. WLC, as you mentioned, Toyota Cryo DT. I mean, this is a who's who. Essentially, I'm wondering if we're doing the Grand Prix. No, we're not. But it's that kind of level of racing we're about to watch.
Are we seeing a mid-season transfer here that I just went on and was looking at what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm
but
not
I'm
sure, but I don't know what they were saying. I don't know what they were saying, but
do you see who the name is that they're talking about? I just happened to look.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, LVH, dude.
Are you? I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, cool. There's gonna be someone.
I did that old like the cartoon meme of like scraping or wiggling my eyes and then rubbing them.
Like, ladies are about to take off. I just really quickly though want to mention he's got 20 seconds. Gel Power has 20 seconds on this group. Massive effort.
Should have gone with him. I mean, honestly, I mean, can you imagine if Lionel had? Well, that might be too much, letting two teammates go up the road, but that's impressive and certainly a big play. We'll have to monitor that, but mark it at 20 seconds. So I guess the cat is out of the bag. Is that name that we're talking about is Liz
there
Van
she
Houweling.
Is. I see her. Yep, and she is out on course with, it looks to be, Electric Spirit Co. That is I mean, what? Is she racing twice today? That's the other question. Is maybe she's racing
twice. It's like
hearing
that Aaron Rodgers is starting for the Patriots or something, you know?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Bears even. I mean that's or the Vikings. I mean, that would be even worse. But
this is crazy. Well, I wonder if she likes gin because Electric Spirit Company has a bunch of awards. I just saw when I was flying the other day in a publication. They're becoming quite the distillery of note. So it's great to see that they support this esports team, and that's Liz Van Houweling. I don't know if she's currently ranked number one in the world, but she
I
sure
think
has been a lot.
she may be 2 right now. I think she may be ranked 2 at the moment, but after Grand Prix, she may have gotten a lot of points. So I have to double check that and see because
I just read her Zwift communique article that she wrote about Grand Prix. She's a super talented athlete, and I think it's in a weird way, it's good to see that even someone like Liz Van Houweling can't just win at will because it's so competitive out there. And she did not have her best race ever this last week. So obviously, we're big fans. She's a great person, and it is a tough sport. So that's interesting news for sure. That will have if
you
we're just
can race
finding
for
out
2
about it for
teams.
sure.
Just you can like I was gonna race East and
I wouldn't be
West.
surprised if she still is.
So yeah, because I mean Sarah Snowpins has been a huge part of her racing.
Yeah,
So I would not be surprised if she's just racing twice in one day. It's something I was definitely looking into as well for training as well as just to get some extra fun. So and if she's looking to mix it up
it's entirely
top
possible,
level.
Nathan. Right, exactly what you're saying. It's completely copacetic and kosher. If she chose to take on another team to race with, it doesn't mean she's leaving Sarah's no pin. So no assumption there at all. I actually would assume she's not. I think you said basically the same thing. So, all right,
100%.
let's pick up the action of Carly Johan in our field. Very talented group of women that we have because they're just getting going. So remembering that we've got our first sprint and segment here. So this is going to start hotting up pretty quickly now.
Nobody opened it up just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they open up from
A
the
little different
back
than the
of the
men's.
pack here, but nobody really
There it goes.
interested.
There it goes. That's the
Stelvio.
fast through
Yeah, it looks
segment
like it's
move.
going to
Yep.
be Svartstrom now. Svartstrom to the front. It's going to be
Godhead as
Klein
well.
trying to take over. Lethbridge is right there. Maybe
Alice
Alice
Lethbridge.
Lethbridge through to the line. It's going to be Williams, I think, from WLC going to take over and grab that FAL. The question, oh my gosh. Did you see Electric Spirit coming through there with Liz Van Houweling? Liz Van Houweling just come from back to front and demolished that sprint. I think that's going to be the FTS right there. Yeah, maybe not FAL. She might have grabbed both. It was right at the line there. But I think that was the FTS.
That's incredible. But that was Liz at her best, and she is on her A game, no doubt. I appreciate that she's a great rider as well. Can I go back and take a look? Whoa, that's close, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really close. Let's see if I can go back that up just a tad here. I want to see where she came. Loker as well. I think they were very much going for FTS because look at how quickly they came through that pack. I mean, if you take a look here,
watching the broadcast, we were talking about how for the men, that definitely goes to Williams. Well, if my read is correctly, my eyes tell me that Williams got that one for Wahoo Nicole.
Back into live shots
as well.
And we do have a little bit of a move off the front with Socks for Watts, Dave. Maybe the women looking to take a little bit of a tip out of the men's book here with Martin. 3.70 here. I don't think it's too much of an attack. It's pretty chill, actually. I thought it was a move, but it's maybe just stretching the legs a little bit here as things have calmed right on down.
I like the Socks for Watts has a renewed energy there. Natalie Lawrence racing today. Ruth Shire has been very impressive. This team's got a lot of talent. I really feel like they've reinvigorated themselves. Charlotte Backus has been a longtime esports legend, and Gokse Paul is an up-and-coming superstar, no doubt about it. Saw Loker out there racing. Katie Loker, another one of the very impressive sprinters, has got to be looking forward to a day like today as we get things going for the women. They started about half an hour after the men, who have got well into their race out there. But right now for these ladies, we're going to have a chance to see, did Liz Van Houweling pick up that fastest through segment and the 20 points that goes with that? She's definitely going to double dip. It might be, my guess is she's going to pick up 20 and an 8 for 28 total, Nathan. But they're crunching that data right now, and we'll have a chance to see. It definitely looked like Amy Williams there for Wahoo Nicole was the first over the line, and she should collect 10 for that. We'll see how she did in the FTS as well. This is what WTRL really brings to the table, is this tremendous opportunity for racers to not just race for the finish line. So it creates this dynamic of, how did I do? Oh, Amy Williams got both, Nathan.
Yeah, nice move by her. Surprising a little bit there, but definitely the numbers don't lie there. Van Halen ends up though in second
Like
for the
that's going to be
points.
fourth in the. It's because the points are structured differently, right? It's 20, 15, 10. So that's third in FTS that gets you
Yep, good
10
call there.
points.
Good call there, Dave. Yep, 100%. Jarheed is actually the one who grabbed FTS for second, but she got no FAL. So she was all about the FTS from the back to the front, it seems like.
Right.
Interesting here, just real quickly, as we want to make sure that we don't leave the other broadcast because the men are rounding out 28.4K. Again, we have a long race out here today, everybody. It's 50K and we're 28.5 in. Gel Power still off the front, but as we are seeing, there is a
This is
move being
Gap.
made by Vyasin. And he got this out to 25 seconds at one point, and then Vyasin started attacking from the group back here. I think maybe looking, because this is a segment, Dave.
Maybe looking
This
to
is a
split the group.
7K segment right here. So there is a FAL and an FTS through this segment
It's a
from
7K FTS, which is the longest that I've ever heard of. I
it
think it's
is.
a
It is
great.
the
Yeah.
longest. Yeah, and so I wonder if perhaps Vyasin's looking to close it down to Gel here at this point and grab that FTS with this group.
So that would get him 20 points for the incredible bridge. And a few riders coming with him. He's such a strategic mastermind, that Lionel Viasen. And again, Lionel is kind of making the talk show circuit right now. I think I heard a rumor he might be on the Wrap coming up in the next, little while. But Lionel's a very compelling character. So let's see what and part of the problem with being a compelling character is you get a lot of attention. The tall tree gets the wind, as they say in Belgium. And so that means that Lionel Viasen there really can't do anything without getting a lot of attention. And it looks like they're going to close down that gap and reshuffle things a little bit. But look at the riders getting tailed at the back of the group now, Nathan, as they come up on 30K into just a little over 50K. Let's call it 52K of racing today.
This split is being closed down, it looks like, by the likes of Becker and a few others. You can see here they are making the chase. They're just about to make the juncture to this group that had split off up ahead. And as they were, we did see some Toyota Cryo RDT riders not too happy about it, it seemed like, made their way to the front. Gel, though, and I thought maybe they'd continue this on, but the tail was just a little bit too long. They were able to grab on the back end of it, and it's all back together. Gel, let's see if now, here's the thing, this infighting, as power continues at 6 watts per kilogram and they back off, start looking at each other, this may give him the advantage, actually. As Kaminsky goes to 1.4, 3.6, this is an uphill right here, Dave. It is 0% right now,
I
but in
hear
just
you.
a
The
moment.
problem is he's been out in the wind for 10K now. So
He might be tired. He's probably really tired.
Exactly. That's my point. Is that you're right. Strategically, he does have a little crack in the window there, but unfortunately, I don't know that there's enough. He's going to have to pull into the fueling station at some point. Or maybe not. Knowing Joe Power, I mean, he's a superstar, no question. But I'm going to guess that this move will be deactivated here, decommissioned.
5 watts per kilogram, 6.1 coming from Boreal. Boreal looks to want to shut this down. He does not want the likes of power to hold on to this. You can see the updated points here after they went through the KOM up on top of Titans Grove. 39 points currently sitting for Becker. It's going to be kiting there as well. We've got Lisan there with 20 points total. Christensen also there. Wow, what a dominating performance so far from the Danish team. I believe that's going to be DBR. I'm just going to double check and make sure that's exactly who we're talking about here. As Becker is riding for, I believe, Fusion. Excuse me, it's Fusion Coloquick. Actually, it is. So there's like 3 different Danish teams in here. So keeping track of all of them is going to be a little bit difficult. But as you can see here, there's Fusion. The Fusion team here that we're in. See Fusion ECT as the jersey that they'll be using. So they are the ones that are currently
incredible day.
Crazy day. Yeah. Boreal came across here, Dave. You made it happen.
South
3 seconds
African.
up.
Holy cow. All right. Well, this is a whole new chapter, isn't it? Does Mr. Power want to get involved with another move? A little bit of help? Looks like it. It certainly does look like it. He's going to get up onto that wheel. So that's truly impressive that he wants to continue to roll off of the front, getting a little bit of help now.
Oh, he's backed off at 2.8. Is there going to be a little elbow saying pull through? Yep, power goes at 9.9. He just kicks. He says, forget this. I'm going to go. They hold on to 3 seconds here at this point. Vyassen's at the front, keeping things steady at 4 watts per kilogram of that pack. He drops Boral, actually. And will he be able to hang on? I think there's still a K.5 to 2Ks to the line. I think they're going to ramp things up in 4 seconds. Will come down pretty quickly. He needs to grab onto a pretty good amount of speed and time still here. This goes out to 10. I think he may have a chance here. If it doesn't go out to 10, they're going to close this down pretty quickly. But he's coming into this section, and that'll be FTS. I think that he had 20 seconds. So they've closed a lot down, and Vyasen says enough is enough. Look at this, 10 watts per kilogram. Vyasen just kicks really hard with Leeson. He does not want to let Joachim Leeson go off the front. Now all the orange numbers starting to pop. Dave, it's shut down.
Oh, it just got real. Oh, yeah. What's amazing to me is that Aaron Baril wasn't able to hang on. That South African is a talented rider on the Toyota Cryo team, and it shows you how motivated Power is out here today. But we're back in it. That's going to be Lionel Vyasen now going by as this Belgian is full gas out here.
Vyasen versus Leeson. Oh my gosh, this is like the best of the best. You're looking at 2 world champion type level riders here at this point. 2 riders who are definitely focused in on getting some rainbow stripes as of March of next year. Leeson, Vyasen, here comes Vanden Neck. Now it's going to be going over the top here. Maybe they wasted too much coming to the line. There's still about a K, I think, to go until they hit that line, but they've got a gap here, Dave. They can start looking at each other just a little bit. Ooh, now it's going to be closed right on down. Those gaps, it's touch and go here, Dave.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I can only imagine there's a lot of riders white knuckling this one as the big hitters right now are just slugging it out there. Lionel Vyasen goes orange. Again, he is not to be designed. Here comes Van den Eyck as well. The Belgians right now saying enough of this Denmark stuff. This is going to be Fjellheim, the Norwegian there, along with Vang. So the Callis team starting to activate their rocket ships. But this is Lionel Vyasen at his best as he goes into beast mode right now, Nathan.
First across line goes to Vyasen. He earns it, it looks like, or maybe not. There's Alexi Calvin nipping at the line.
He gets tipped.
Did he get nipped? I don't know. It was oh man, Dave. That was so close.
Oh my! The back end API don't lie. So we're gonna have to see what WTRL tells us. But that was as photo finishy as they get out there, even to the naked eye. I'm not sure you could really make a call without having to sprinkle a little bit of a guess on top of it. Wow! All right, but I'm with you, Nathan. But that's one thing I really learned with esports too: is it's not over till it's over. Did Lionel Vyasen hold on? You tell us, if you're watching there at home. You can see.
Oh my gosh! Look at this, Dave.
Well, and one more boy.
I don't know.
That's a dead tie. I mean, so again, here's the thing: it gets very complex. But the back end API, meaning that these riders, well, they're both basically in Northern Europe, but the computers will have to sort out exact. I mean, have you ever seen it closer than that? It's kind of tough. I mean, because that's not the camera angle isn't directly on the line, which makes that look like a 100% tie. At least it is there.
And that's just good racing. That's just good racing, Dave. I absolutely love it what these guys are showing us.
That has to go into some kind of Hall of Fame, that photo finish shot right there, Nathan. I mean, that's our version of that Flanders finish from couple of years ago.
And they just keep making it happen. Gottwald now off the front here, Dave. They go again. And you thought, okay, flat racing, right? And I've always said on Zwift, that's where all the action happens. This is where all the action happens, is where you don't have that climb that can just even things out, where speed ends up being king. You start seeing how much speed actually is what makes breaks happen. And look at this. When people start countering, attacking, and the speeds get high, you use the power that you have to create this massive amount of speed in this tornado this hurricane that starts flying off the front over and over and over again. The slingshot after slingshot. This is what creates breaks. Look at this. It's complete. This isn't just a straight line of riders trying to find a wheel at this point, Dave.
Well, and also, Nathan, this is what creates incredibly fast races, right? I mean, what is the average speed going to be out here today? It's going to be one of the hardest, fastest hours of racing. Where are we at now? We're 46 minutes and 25 seconds into this 52-ish kilometer race, and they've already done 36K, thereabouts. These guys have been flying, just being in this front. This would be the fastest group ride in history. We go back now and pick up the women here as well. As you can see, they're on their way into Titans Grove now.
It's been fairly calm up until this point. It's been spread across the road so far, just as everybody knows, within the women's race. We haven't seen too much action just as yet. I think they're going to really open things up when it comes to the climb here in just a moment. They have not hit the segment just yet. It's all together. No one is off. Well, actually, excuse me, minute 18 back. There is a chase group. Well, actually, not a chase at this point. I think this is going to be the Segwagon of the day at this point. Jarheed at the back here, and I look at what she's up to here, Dave. I think this is all about snagging as many points as she possibly can.
She's loading up for a fastest through segment is what she's doing. So
100%.
I mean, yeah, this is so this would be actually, you want to talk about clinics, watch what she's doing here. So she knows that to get this fastest through segment, there's a lot of tough women like Liz Van Houweling. So she starts behind Liz here and surfs this group all the way through that segment. It's not easy to do, but she's strong enough to pull it off, and she knows that this Swedish rider is right now absolutely showing us how it's done.
Yeah, and they just started the segment. You can see immediately she goes from the back to the front to protect her position, but that just gave
she
her
knows that she has
to have,
if she wins this. Right, exactly. She kind of has a maybe 0.2 of a second buffer on the other danger woman for her, right? So she finishes right with Lethbridge or with Van Houweling. She knows that she should be a little faster because she started behind them.
100%. So if she wins first across the line against any of these ladies, she knows she has secured FTS. It's because she was the last one to start the segment. She for sure has the FTS.
Now, she finishes, 5, 6 riders back. That no longer holds true. But so she controls her own destiny.
100%. Good way to put it. It's a great, and there's no guesswork then too. It's kind of a security measure because you just know at that point that if I'm first, I'm first.
And to be honest, Nathan, for 98% of us out here, it wouldn't make no never mind because you're not going to be able to hang with Liz Van Houweling anyways. But she can. So do you get what I'm saying? I mean,
if there's anybody who can, it's gonna be Marlene Jardy. That's for sure.
There's only a limited number of people who this would matter for. It's a high level technique.
Yeah, and so there are attacks going left and right. We're going to try and keep things on both the men's and the women's racing here. The women just making a little bit of move. It is going to be Lizzie Brooke here from DLC on the move toward the front. There is Van Houweling covering it very quickly. Now Marlene Jarheed as well giving it a little go. We did see Vyazin as well as Aaron Hunt there from the beta team. Kalman and Power all making moves again over on the other side of this. So this is so cool to see. The women are climbing the forward Queen of the Mountain, and the men are climbing the King of the Mountain the other direction right now. They're both climbing Titans Grove exactly the same time with attacks. Awesome.
If we could merge the dual universes together and see them pass each other.
Be absolutely amazing to see that. And now Brooke here, though, Dave, is causing this is the first separation that we've seen in this race.
What a talent. This young lady has really been. So when you talk about the triathletes, road racers, Zwifters, so the esport, triathlon, and IRL road racing, I don't know that anyone does all three at the same level as Lizzie. She's had a very, very active last couple of years out here.
Yeah, you throw that triathlete in there, Dave, that is a very unique individual. Like going across disciplines within cycling is one thing, right? But going across disciplines with tri in there is you're essentially adding 4. There's 3 extra disciplines.
Absolutely, and she not only does all of them, she does them well. She's been esports racing with us a lot. She was out in the Grand Prix, being a big part of that race. She made it into the final on a very tough Team Omnium race. So Lizzie Brooke, tremendous work ethic there. There she is on the front, making things hard for everybody once again. Over on the women's side of things, I see Holdcraft, Alice Lethbridge, hashtag legend for Alice Lethbridge, one of the most highly respected esports athletes of all time. And there's Lethbridge on the Sox for Watch team. She's in the light blue with the dark blue shorts there. It looks like her teammate is that Shire coming up there as well today. But this is going to be Liz Van Houweling attacking again. So Van Houweling goes with authority.
Yeah,
Yikes.
has a gap actually, Dave, and I'm not sure that this is getting caught. I think that she has gone early and is going to
And
get
this
the
will counter the
FTS
PR heat.
and
But
FAL. Where is
she'll get
Yahid?
both, I think. I mean,
Yahid's a
yeah,
little ways back here at this point. She may have grabbed still some good FTS. Yeah, it looks like some
with
pretty
my
good FTS,
guess.
but
Yeah,
Van
and
Halen, I think, got everything there.
Bjarhid was not that far behind when they started the segment. So my thought is going to be that Liz does double dip there. Liz is highly respected, is an understatement for Liz Van Houweling. Being number one in the world, even for a brief moment, and both she and Kristen Kolchinski, and I mean, it's an always changing. I mean, I know V Win was world number one for a while, but just to get into that conversation says a lot about your abilities as an esports athlete. Looking now to see what we've got, Nathan, as
It's kind of dangerous, this move here, Dave. We're going to get into the
looks like
men's
it.
real quickly here. This might stay away, though. There are about 20 riders or so off the front within the women's field, and that back group might not be able to
Uh,
close it down because of the number of riders that are up ahead. We'll see if they snowball
right
up
on the
against that.
line there.
It really
Yeah,
is.
we'll check
So
back in.
men, though, just starting their reverse KOM. This is with big points. Now, nobody going early here, Dave. They're really doing a back to front with Hansen, it looks like here.
Like, and then I
Uh, Nobody going bottom to type, though. I think they're going to wait for the last moment.
It's good to see that the glaciers still exist on Watopia as they're melting all over the planet. So another reason to love Zwift. As we take a look here, that's going to be a big move now. So we're taking a look at Fjellheim, the Norwegian on Kalish going. That black jersey's ominous on that. Wow, black and orange. As that concept bike is absolutely railing it now.
Yeah, Kaminsky looking to come across. Schultz puts 10 watts per kilogram. Everybody getting a little bit nervous about not giving this too much space. And Joachim Leeson goes. Leeson now 13 watts per kilogram. He's got the gap. He can hold this all the way to the line. Well, he may fade just a little bit. Kalman now is leading things out behind here. Now 12 watts per kilogram, 740 watts here. I think he may be able to do this. They're charging hard behind. The speed is a little bit higher, but I think he's got the gap, though.
Fast, exactly. Yeah.
He's got it.
The lion roared right there. Joachim. Wow. Nathan, any other rider, you would have seen them close that down and make the catch, but not Lisson on a good day.
No, and I mean, he was able, as you can see, he timed it perfectly because they were closing things down, but he timed it just the right, knew exactly where to go, got the gap he needed, then held on. And, they may have, punched an extra watt per kilogram and also let out a little bit, but it just wasn't enough space to close that down. Leeson, perfect timing. You see why he's, I think, ranked 1, 2, or 3 in the world. Usually, that's right around where he usually sits. Always battling for that. Very cool to see.
Yeah, a purpose built for this course out here today as well. So taking a look, I mean, his 20-minute power is at 5.5 watts per kilo. But his 15-second power is at 16.7. It's very rare you see someone that's so good on both sides of this. Aaron Burrill was very active.
Look at this,
earlier.
Dave. Yeah. Like, this goes to show you how hard the racing is. Aaron Burrill has been dropped. There's 3 off the back here with Lindben. I mean, this is insane. Mortensen was off the back here. Christensen, who was very early on involved. I mean, people are getting tired here, Dave. This is only 26 riders left in this main group. It's really been whittled down as we're 42K. And now, Dave, they are going to be heading. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. This is the first time we've actually taken a look at the map, but I think it's going to help people understand exactly where we're at, where we've been, etc. We
Or
took on
confuse you more because it's a pretty crazy course.
it is a
Right.
pretty crazy course. They did that first sprint, then they headed on over toward what we just saw the women take on for the first Queen of the Mountain, King of the Mountain. As you can see, 54.1 kilometers in total, 33.6 miles. They did Ocean Boulevard, then headed back on over to the flats, took on the flats again for that 7K section that we just saw. Then they did the reverse King of the Mountain we just saw the men take on. Women will be heading on over there in just a moment. Now they're on the downhill and back on over to Ocean Boulevard to do it in the opposite direction and then head back on over to Fuego Flats for the finish in the same direction that they started. The finish will be the same direction that they did the first sprint in. So, Dave, I believe that means there's a second chance at the FTS, but at 54K, I'm not sure they're going to be able to go for the FTS a second time.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that just speaks to how complex this course is. And I would agree that the legs are going to be pretty heavy at that point. I would be stunned, although anything's possible out here. I guess I would have to. Well, the way that these guys race, Nathan, it's unimaginable that you'd get the FTS a second time through because they were going ballistic the first time through with fresh legs. I would expect that's where we would award that, but I've been wrong before. That's for sure. That's one of the. It's so unpredictable, and that's what makes in this day and age, some of the most popular sports in the United States are the NFL, and what makes it so popular is the fact that the outcome is almost always in play. Right. And that if you're watching, that's what keeps live sports so popular is that when you don't know the outcome, it is much more intriguing. And that is certainly the case out here on a day like today as we get down to 10K of racing.
Again, Joe Power goes
Can you believe
again.
This unreal. Joe Power. Wow. I mean, that's his second attack, but the first, he's been off the front for about half of this race, maybe a third, but really impressive job by Power today.
And he's looking to get a little bit of distance before they hit that downhill over toward Ocean Boulevard. This is a very difficult section actually to get away on though. The rolling is so over and over again that the speeds can just be slingshotted a lot more than most places out on Watopia. A lot of times for myself, knowing these sections of course, this is one section that I usually, there's certain parts of a course that you're like, I always use some sort of a roll the dice or what are the cards playing a little bit. What are you going to gamble? When is a good place to gamble? My odds here are on the house is going to win here. In my opinion, this section of course, I'm sitting with 7-2 offsuit right now if I'm playing Texas Hold'em, right? There's no pocket rockets here, right? And so
it's funny you say that. The house always wins, right? And I think that the house is physics, and it doesn't always win. I guess that's the thing because riders like Fjellheim are always going to try to upset the apple cart. I love what the Norwegian spirit is right now, making some big watch, but he's getting quite a response here, Nathan. These guys are not going to give him any leash right now.
No, and he gets the response here. Now, the only thing that changes things up, the house might not win because you've got a couple coming across here. And if you get enough people banding together, they're just going to raid the vault, it looks like, Dave. It's full on right now.
Right, exactly.
They're not keeping anything in the kitty today because we got 4 riders off the front with Vandenek, Power, as well as it's going to be Gottwald here. 4 riders making a move. Kaminsky trying to come across 2 seconds back, goes back to 0 watts per kilogram. It looks like as he looks to try and grab that 57 kilometers per hour, get into his super tug. There's the fire socks. You can see he's well over his FTP. Vyassin sitting in, not chasing his teammates down at this point. As it's going to be 5 trying to make a break, but it is a downhill in just a moment here as they're going to leave Titans Grove and head on over to Ocean Boulevard. Look at that
fire socks.
Bike. Look at that bike.
Yeah, Dave. Beautiful. This is quite a setup that we're looking at right now here for the Polish rider. Kaminsky's got some style, no doubt about it. He is all over this now as we're going to be. The last 10K are unbelievably quick now as these guys. Some folks, Nathan, are probably wondering what that fire is. It's an added element in the Zwift gamification that came in the last month, I guess. I would say, yeah, about a month ago as some new things, including, there's more than just level 50 now, goes up to level 60. and some of the most experienced racers have some real perks that they get to show off out there. So here we go.
63 kilometers per hour, Dave. Like, usually you come off of this at 55. They're almost 10 kilometers per hour flying over the top. Here comes BL13 late in the race. We haven't seen them involved in anything. Have they just been sitting in waiting for a moment to go? Look at this. In the super tuck on this bridge. I don't know if I've ever seen a super tuck on this section of bridge.
Well, and yeah, it speaks to the dynamics at play. This is going to go down as one of the fastest, hardest races that we've seen in ZRL history. I mean, this race was so challenging. The C and D categories are actually racing on the Downtown Titans course instead of out here. I mean, you look at it for these guys, the finishing time is well over an hour. So, my goodness, what a day out here, an epic day. And there you go, big star on the front. That's Lionel Viasen. It's going to be Harvard Jelness as well. So, only heavy hitters need put their nose in the wind right now.
Look at this. Viasen's avatar just steal at this point at 6.3 watts per kilogram into the downhill. He don't care. The duck don't care. I mean, this isn't even a section where you should be on the front. And he's just pounded 6 watts per kilogram. Here comes P.O. Flynn. Now, the Irishman coming from BL13. Very quiet racers so far throughout the race, but they've been quiet enough to sit in and follow wheels. We haven't seen them sticking their nose in the wind, perhaps looking for those final FAL points, perhaps, Dave. Now over the top. Is it going to be DBR on the attack? Interesting enough, perhaps. Zeldin, no. Calms right on down.
BL13 up there. BL13 doing a good job. You know, 20K in, the team was fighting to bring a group back, and now they're watching an attack going clear, and it looks like Toyota Cryo is going to start launching missiles at this point. We're coming very, very quickly into the grand finale. There's a tough little sector here coming out of the Aqua Tunnel, Nathan. A little bit of a kicker that you've got to get up and over.
I just want to speak really quickly here, Dave, to something that we just saw. So watch the way that this rider comes off the front here, Dave, in just a second. This rider, the way that he flew off the front is so telling as to how much speed matters in Zwift. Watch as this just, I mean, look at this. The moment that they came off that downhill, bam, immediately gets 10 meters, right? Now watch Lynn, though, behind him. Lynn slowly rolls off the front as he attacks at the same watts per kilogram. Speed.
He used it like a slide, right? Like a playground slide.
And Lynn has to work that much more to go across to somebody who's doing 6 watts per kilogram rather than 9. And he only needed 9 to 10 for that quick moment. It goes to show you how much the physics actually matter.
He is your friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great call, Nathan. So, guys, we're calling it 54K of racing here. So, getting down to it into the final 5K now. Very, very active. Lionel Viasen's clearly going to be part of this conversation.
Doesn't look like, is he just trying to make things difficult, perhaps? He's looking for these little gaps off the front. We saw him do this in the Grand Prix. Look, he's got 7 meters. He knows no one's really drafting on him at this point. So I think, well, I've spoken to him recently, and one of the things that really smart esports racer might do is this is within underneath his FTP, that right around 5 watts per kilogram. But you saw him roll with the speed off the front and kind of just see, hey, are they going to give me a little bit of a gap? And then if they do, then he starts just kind of ramping it up. And all of a sudden it's 3 seconds, it's 4 seconds. And he didn't have to do that punch to get away, which then you can do the punch afterwards sometimes. And that's when the gap really, really goes. So I have seen him do that once in a while. He did that in the Grand Prix when he walked away on Crit City a few weeks back. And I thought maybe that's what he was trying to do here again, but it looks like not going to be successful. Now they're going to take a right-hand turn in just a moment off of Ocean Boulevard. There's a little punch here, and then they hit the dirt for a section into a false flat climb through the bridge section. That section, a lot of times, Dave, can cause a lot of mayhem, and we are seeing an attack going into it. Is it going to be our man, Gel Power again? Of course it is.
Yeah, this is the third legitimate attack from Power out here. Let's see if this one sticks. Got to give him our most aggressive rider award out here today, Nathan, as this is going to be interesting. Again, the other rider that's been phenomenal today is Fjellheim, the Norwegian, Van den Eekhout, the Belgian now, and Kaminski are the riders up on the front of this group, but these two are now going to start establishing a bit of a breakaway as they hit the dirt sector, the American equivalent of our gravel. They're now on to the boardwalk.
Yeah, and we do see somebody trying to come across. Is that going to be Viasen, perhaps?
Almost camouflaged by the boardwalk right there, yeah.
Leeson, they're going as well. It is going to try to bring... Oh, this may cause
Starting to look
separation,
like
Dave.
it's filling in the gap in between our two riders off the front, or is it going to be established as possibly a 5-rider breakaway? As you can see, one more. I think that's Lisan trying to bridge across, Nathan.
Yeah, and it's really this section, it's really
So close.
difficult to close things down because you feel like, oh, if I put in a lot right now, the sprint is within 4K at this point. Is it going to be a waste of energy? And will I trust those ahead of me to close this down? It looks like it is going to be brought back together here. I'd be sighing a little bit of relief if I'm a sprinter in the pack behind here because that could go at any moment with this false flat.
That could have gone either way, no doubt about it. So you're right, a little bit of a reprieve there for the sprinters in this group. Although if you've survived to this point, you're much more than just a sprinter. You are a hard man because there is no quarter being given out here, and another surge coming. I think this is going to be DBR this time, Nathan, and then over the top of that, oh boy, Coalition now attacking. This is Jacobs here. He's going to roll the dice with 3K to go.
6.2 watts per kilogram. Fusion now it's going to be looking to go across as well. It's going to be bang there, 8.7 watts per kilogram. They get an immediate 2-second gap. That's the last little uphill. There isn't really anything else. There's a little 1% gradient roller as we get into the final 2K or so. Sometimes that can cause a little bit of separation if somebody's really, really knows their Zwift craft, but now with 2 seconds at this point, these two have gone all in. This is probably one of the last sections you could try and make something happen. Toyota Car DT looking to try and get involved in this, and it is going to be Gottwald going across as well.
I mean, it's funny when you look back on the history of this sport and people talked about breakaways not being able to succeed. Well, the dynamics have changed so much over the last couple of years now, where the breakaways, what they really do in the first half of the race is eliminate riders out of the back end of the group as riders will get their tickets punched left, right, and center. And now this is a classic finish here for us. As we come into the final 2K, you can see it's every man for himself out here as the attacks go. There's certainly no way to tell right now where the right wheel to be is. You got to trust your animal instincts out here as it's become flat out frenetic as we come into 2K to go. It is on like Donkey Kong out here right now, Nathan.
Fusion trying to come over the top, 5.3 watts per kilogram as it's all back together, though. I think they've all just spread across. Look at this. Across the road now at this point. Now, nobody looking to make any moves.
Do we see a classic sprint now, Nathan, or do we have yet another flurry of attacks?
There is the 1K to go hero kind of situation. There is sometimes right through here. And this is that little downhill I was talking about. There it is, 1% downhill gradient, and they used it. Whoever's off the front here, is that going to be, that's our man. It's been on the attack over and over again, Lien and Zelnheim. Now, off the front, and that's the 1K to go. Little bit of an uphill bump here that also, if they really kick into it and hold the speed, it'll be way faster than the group. Now 12 watts per kilogram coming from the Fusion rider. It is going to be Flashberg looking to go across. Jacobs is there as well out of the Netherlands. 4 riders trying to make a break for it, Dave.
Wow, what a great name for a finisher. Flashberg is all in for the Fusion team. These 3 just dangling off of the front. It's only a couple, well, call it 3 seconds right now as they're going to rapidly come up on 1K to go. So everybody going all in. Push your chips into the middle of the table now. It looks like we might be down to 2 riders here on the front. They're full gallop mode now as it is an unbelievable day here, Nathan. But these 3 look like they might hold on, or can they? Another rider coming up to this group.
Yeah, Jacob's looking to just jump onto the back here, and then will they start just looking at each other because it is going to be about a sprint still, and it's going to be 4 watts per kilogram now backing off. Here comes the group. 9 watts per kilogram coming from Toyota Car DT. It's going to be Galtwald. Galtwald's not carrying the group. Vyasen says, 7 watts per kilogram from him. They may have done this, Dave. They've got 4, 5, 6 seconds now. Jalhim at 8 watts per kilogram. I think they've done it.
I'm going to give them the advantage at this point now because the finish line starts to come up very, very quickly here. They're into the last segment. These guys are going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, but Nathan, I think that they can hold on. That is how you upset the apple cart. It is an unbelievable day here on Watopia.
And here we go. It's going to happen
Wow.
here. The break is going to make it. The 1K to go Heroes Flashberg with that late go. But Lin coming through for DBR. Is he going to be able to get the better of him? Now they kick at the 10 watts per kilogram, but it's too much speed. Lin, DBR, they're going to make it happen. DBR, take it down. Flashberg, Thelm. Here comes the group. Gottwald trying to hang on. It's not going to happen for him as Turtle Credit T. They take the group sprint with Vanden Eckhout. What a race, Dave. 54K of racing. That's our final for the ZRL. For the men out of EMEA Africa.
It's one of the toughest days that we have seen in a long, long time. You guys really are the gladiators of esport. Tremendous effort. How about Flashberg out there as well today? These guys really starting to make their name. And guess what? It's 2 for the price of 1 today, folks, as we've got a women's race that's just starting to really hot up out there as well. They've just gone through the middle point. So we'll have a chance to review what happened in the men's finale there. But Nathan, thank you. I see you've honed in now on the women's race. This looks like, let me do a quick scan here. Yep, our front group now. Doesn't look like anybody's dangling. No, this is our front group here. Grupo Compacto, more or less. Few riders getting dropped out of this group, but everybody basically spread out across the road. I feel like I'm at the Tour de Gila here in New Mexico right now.
Yeah, spread across the road, chilling. It looks like at this point, I haven't seen anybody really make a move. There was a little bit of a go earlier. There was a couple of riders that were trying to make something happen. I think Lethbridge, Van Houweling, I did see for a moment, but I think because
Lizzie Brooke, I would give a tip of the cap to as well from what we saw.
Could make a move. WLC, yeah, I could see them trying to make a move through here, but the risk reward. And with how long this race is, Dave, I think a lot of them are thinking, okay, it's going to really be about FTS here through this segment. And if nobody can really get off the front, is it worth the effort? Because you're not going to be able to make the sprint underneath the rock arch. So I think they're just going to stick together at this point and wait for that kick to the line.
100% what I would do and be advising. You sound like me now. What's going on?
Not the
We're
usual.
living in a... You're telling them to relax and not attack. Where's Nathan? Who's taking over this broadcast?
Real quickly, just as a review, as the ladies are making their way on over there, I just want to review real quickly what just went down on the men's side of things just a moment ago.
Carnage.
We just saw, that was absolute carnage. There was amazing job there from the breakaway. I mean, I was actually a little bit surprised that they were able to pull that off. We saw the move.
I mean,
here's the move from Lin and Zellheim. And then it was, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, and maybe that was the secret to their success, is that they were underestimated by that very strong group, right? They took advantage of the doubt, and that's the balance where this is made. You got to give Lin credit here. The DBR riders lit the fuse and was the bomb.
100%. And as they make their way through, I'm going to, rather than watch this replay through, though, because the ladies are getting a little bit antsy, it looks like. And they saw we went to the replay, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll put on a show. As Garrett here, along with Liz Van Houweling, make a move into this only section that has a little bit of an uphill, actually. This Oasis is the section that you can try and break things apart. Van Houweling was the first one to go, I believe. Svardstrom now. And we see Cat Ridgway now saying, FTS, let's go, as they start to really ramp things up. A couple of them falling off the back here. Little inattentiveness, perhaps, Dave, as we see Brandfoot panic there. Orange numbers, Dave. You know that there's a little bit of panic in a rider. As Shire, Martin, these are not names you'd expect off the back. They were caught off guard with the kind of speed that's pulling through here. 57 kilometers per hour on a downhill in this women's race. They are flying, Dave, to try and get back on terms.
Yeah, they're going to have to go completely commit themselves to this as well. There's no long-term plan. It looks like they're going to get back in. Great job here, ladies. They recognize the danger in that moment. Let's take a quick look and review the segment points as Liz Van Houweling on top of the table. It's going to be Linda Klein there with 39 points. So 49 for Van Houweling. Klein with 39. Williams with 30. Svardstrom 28. There's a couple Swedes up there. And that's significant now because it's not an individual event here. It's a team sport. The points are tallied together for your squad. So a Svardstrom and a Bjarhead score more than one Van Houweling, Nathan.
Yeah, interesting there with the way the SZ are able to take on the likes of Van Houweling. But she does have Loker there with 16 points, grabbing a few more there for the Electric Spirit Code team. But now all back together. A couple of moves were trying to be made, unable to put
So
any
a
chink.
Loker and a Van Houweling beat Svartstrom and a Bjarhead, actually. You're right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love it.
sounds like Game of Thrones. All right.
Another move.
So
Williams goes again. Look, this is the rider who early on got a ton of points, and now we see Van Houweling quickly jumping on top of that move from Williams. WLC covered Cold Cloth going for it looks like Toyota Priority T. It is also going to be Synergy toward the front with Holdcroft now. 4.2 watts per kilogram. That gets shut down real quickly by Wrightsmutt from Stelvio. But it's going to be Cabot now over the top there. Team Castelli now making a moves. And this is within the last K to go here. They're going to round this out. Right-hand turn. You can see off in the distance, there is the rock cropping that they are trying to sprint for at this point. This is a very early move, but she's got 1 second with Holdcroft on the wheel. Do they have a meter or two? It does look like they've got 12 meters. No draft them at this point, but they're not letting them go. Nevin on the front, 5-5.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of horsepower right behind, and there's the catch being made. So back to Grupo Compato now as we bring the ladies into what's going to be a critical moment. This is a good look at the entire peloton here. There goes Wahoo Lacole. That's Amy Williams attacking over the top.
Williams again. Now Holdcroft sees it, 7.8 watts per kilogram. This is essentially a churn of like essentially a team time trial of 4 different teams that just keep on keeping the pace as high as possible. They are going to go this left, and then there's going to be a right-hand turn, and then in front of them about, I would say 800 meters out, maybe 600 meters out is going to be the rock cropping that they are going to be sprinting for. There it is off in the distance. It's got a little Aztec building on the top. Now it's going to be Lizzie Brooke. This is a big move. We haven't seen her make any moves like this so far. 8 watts per kilogram. Nice little kick. I think she doesn't trust her sprint against the likes of these ladies, so she wants to break this early.
It's interesting when you say that because you could look at it the other way. She trusts in her ability to go deep for longer than the other women out here, right? And unfortunately, they know to counter that quickly, and they're going to get on top of it. They're not going to play around. They don't want to watch a grass fire turning into structure fire. These are going to be the Swedes. The Swedes are rampaging. The Vikings are going 1-2. Oh, boy. Svartstrom in full effect today. Hermansen right there with her. So that was a big moment today for the Swedish Zwifters as they certainly make a statement with that one.
Yeah, that was interesting. Brooke there off the front. As you
Brooke will still get a lot of points, I believe, but not as many as she was hoping for.
Yeah, and look at the Swedes. They timed it so well. They sat on Van Houweling's wheel and then came through. They came through at the last moment there, Dave. Perfectly timed. And I think Toyota Priority T, Stelvio, then Van Houweling, Hermansen. So they get quite a few points there for the Swedes. And
that's really the name of the game in the ZRL, WTRL presents, is the stacking of the points before you get into that finale. Yeah, there's a lot of points at the finish line, but if you come in into that finale having to make up ground, a lot of times you won't be able to do it, as the teams that have been actively getting bonuses all along the way are playing with the house's money at that point.
What's going on here, Dave? This is danger.
Amy Williams in a little trouble, huh? We even saw Liz Van Houweling going through this last week in Grand Prix. If you make too big of an effort, you can pay a price. Boy, there's a few riders getting tailed out of this group right now. This also could be a rider clipping out of her pedal. You never really know because Amy's coming back quite handily here, very strong. So it's hard to think that that was her getting dropped because she was having trouble biomechanical. That's sort of, Nathan, where I think, maybe something, a cat on a keyboard, something like that.
It's always the cat. It's always the cat on the keyboard. Like, what's up with the cats? Come on, cats.
Those cats, man, they have no respect for Zwift.
Get it together here.
They want you to pay attention to them.
Now, Corley Arthur, she is coming off of a summer here, it seems like, with some pretty good fitness, being able to make it through all of this, and she is known as an amazing sprinter, but I think this course definitely suits her all around type rider. She can do just about everything. The only time that I would say that perhaps Coralie's going to struggle is if we head over to Watopia Mountain or have something that is repeated longer climbs over and over and over again. But Coralie here, I think she's going to be a danger woman in the final for
She's
WLC.
such
And
a
with their talent with de-essing and their ability to kind of read a race, I wouldn't be surprised if she's been saving something up for some sort of tactical move later in the race.
she's such a cool person, a real free spirit. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll see that Coralie is often underwater out there. I think she swims, Nathan, in the
People
Scottish
be like,
loch.
"Wait, what? What do you mean she's often underwater?" Like that's a really great.
Oh
I love
man,
that
she's
statement.
just she is definitely a citizen of planet Earth.
Hundred
Is a
percent.
good way to put it. Yeah. Admirable lifestyle, I would say. It's certainly one that I would love to see more people replicate. Just getting out there in nature. She certainly doesn't seem to be intimidated by much.
That is the truth. Now, real quickly. Oh man, Dave, this right? This is a huge upset. I think when it comes to the men's race. I'm just gonna double check this because the standings were PO Auto on top prior to the race we just watched, but preliminary. Now these are preliminary, everybody. I'm seeing that Callis have taken over at 114 points. It was 96 to 95 coming into this, and Pio
That's a
Auto.
huge jump.
That is
So
a
that would mean that
big
Joado had a
jump.
terrible day, which yeah.
Well, I saw a lot of Callis
Taking
up
that
there
at
though.
face
I saw
value,
Callis
right?
taking a lot of points though. I mean, if we take a look at this here, Dave, where's
So
Pio
that would
Auto
mean
on
that
this board?
Alice had to finish 6 places ahead of Pio Auto, which is possible, 100% possible.
Completely and
Just not
look at this
expected.
board here, Dave. I mean, Callis are kind of there. They are with Kalman. We've seen
So for
Nielsen
Alice to
here,
make that kind of a jump, they need
but
help from
Leeson is
other
there at
teams as
60.
well.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think
We'll see.
WTRL. We'll have to wait. But that's what I've got on my board so far. Is that
Right.
Callis Esports are at 114 and Pure Auto
So
at
at face
109.
value, that's huge. We'll double check, but I've learned that WTRL's right a lot more than they're wrong. That's for sure.
So, well,
I tend to
apparently,
believe them, actually. I mean, it's kind of funny in my 20 years of doing this, you become skeptical of results, but WTRL does such a great job that, and generally, you learn to trust patterns, and their patterns are correct.
looking here,
We'll see.
100%. Real quickly, I just want to get an
Yep.
idea of how things played out for the race as well. Dave, that breakaway, it worked out.
Sure did. And it speaks to fortune favors the brave in esports racing. That saying applies to a lot of things, but certainly in esports racing, it's become a real truism. It's going to be Daniel Lynn taking the win. Again, he lit the fuse. He is the bomb. Way to go, Daniel. Mads Flashberg, amazing today as well. As you can see, he did that with incredible efficiency. 3.9 watts per kilo through the day, and he ends up with the silver medal. That's talent. Henrik Fjellem with the Norwegian here for Kalish. Part of the success was what he did. You could see that they had 3 in the top 7 today. But let's go to Bart van den Eyck out. He's the Toyota Cryo RDT rider in 4th today. Then Pio Auto has Joachim Lisson, but it's Alexei Kalman, very active throughout the day for Kalish in 6th. Simon Nielsen in 7th for Kalish. Fusen has Niklas Becker in 8th. Michael Kaminsky in 9th, and Johannes Keiding in 10th. Look at the number of Danish flags in our top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 10 are Danes.
Yeah, I think this is exactly why we are seeing what we are talking about there, Dave, when it comes to the Callis team. 6th, 7th, as you can see there, 3rd place. Pio Auto only with Joachim there. And I think Callis also grabbed a lot of sprint points along the way. That's most likely why we saw what we did there when it comes to the final results for the season.
But it
But
wasn't just Calais beating Pio Auto today with that huge
yeah,
shift in points. Right? Other teams had to have as well.
100%. And so that's most likely what ended up. I think Leeson had a lot on his shoulders, as well as Pedersen, to try and hold on to that final. Goes to show you're not safe until the league is over. It's not over till it's over here within ZRL. And the big risks, sometimes they pay off with the reward. We did see Pedersen as well as Leeson taking a lot of risks out there today. And but did it end up paying off? It looks like Pio Auto overtaken by Callis Esports. Nice job by them. Two of the long-standing esports teams, for sure, showing what they've got in this Africa. This has got to be one of the most competitive as far as the ZRL EMEA. Great to see so many big teams, big names smashing it out here today. Now with the ladies though, same thing. They're making their way up over the top of their reverse Queen of the Mountain. We're going to be heading toward those sections we saw in the men's race just a moment ago where the attacks went fast and furious over and over again. They will be climbing this and then heading over to Ocean Boulevard and then that turnaround onto the pier, those pier sections or the little bit of gravel section, then into that final 4K or so. Lots of big names still have made this. And here goes Lizzie Brooke again. That you can really recognize her avatar. I love it that you can because I think her avatar, she's kind of made her avatar looks like her in real life a little bit. I really feel like she's done a great job of giving that ability to see. That's Lizzie off the front, not even having to see the name. You just look at the avatar and you know it's her.
Right. I mean, she's definitely a ginger and proud of it. And I would agree. Her avatar is maybe the most recognizable or accurate to the in real life person as anyone. Let's see. Coralie Arthur right there in the middle of the group. If this does come down to a sprint, Katie Loker, or a couple of the riders, Liz Van Houweling is going to be, and there's Amy Williams as well, the Wahoo Lacole rider, teammate of Coralie, and another one of the women who's been all over the front of this race today.
See if Williams is going to make a move, perhaps. We've seen her making moves early and often in this race. Here's Kent from Electric Spirit Co. as well. Now everybody's kind of bunching up at the back here, Dave. And my question now is who's going back to front? It does look like it's Van Houweling on the back, perhaps, if she's playing this smart. And she's most likely going to start making her way to the front. Yep, FTS full on. And will she have what it takes, though, in the tank here to go front to back and still win the sprint outright? Here comes, though, Team SZ. They're really the danger women, I feel like, out here today.
Yeah, they have been for years. When you talk about long-standing teams, both Toyota Cryo and Swedish Swifters in this field would certainly represent that, fly that flag here as we look at Anna Svartström, another one of the super talents that we've got in esports. But right now, everything pretty chill. That is Coralie Arthur going right to the front there. As you can see, the Wahoo Lacole rider regulating affairs at this point. So we're down to, let's say, 13K to go. It's going to be a fast finish, though. And this is Liz Van Houweling. Liz is going to make things rough out here.
Yeah, and there she goes. 10 watts per kilogram kick. Holdcroft looking to hold on to her wheel. Coralie Arthur trying to respond. Nobody able to do so. Katie Loker now coming from Electric Spirit Co. as well with a 9 watt per kilogram. She may be leading out Stelvio and a few others now. And has SZ left it too late? A lot of times you can wait till the last moment on this sprint. There's still another little bump here, and then it flattens out. But I think that Van Houweling is putting enough in the tank here to hold on. She has done so easily.
Gotta give Maria Holdcroft credit. The second place rider there, Nathan, she has been coming on strong. Talking about Maria Holdcroft of Synergy there. Do you want to continue on here at this point? Let's see what we've got, because they've done extensive damage to that group behind them now. That's Liz Van Houweling in her debut performance here, the debutante ride for Electric Spirit Co. As Maria Holdcroft goes over the top now. The Synergy rider is the vanguard here, the front of the race.
I love it that somebody's taking issue with you. Laura Perry comes in. No, this isn't Laura Perry. There was a great
taking issue with me.
No, there was a great comment that just came through. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it for you, Dave.
Okay.
As it's not updating, but there was a comment over at YouTube. It's Scuffy the Jan. Says everything pretty chill in quotes. They're chumming along at 6 watts per kilogram, but it's pretty chill for a sprint. Pretty chill for. I got what Dave was saying, but yes, I think Scruffy is like, wait, what? They're just kind of
relative, right? I hear you. No, totally. chill is certainly probably not the right word.
Right.
It's funny.
Absolutely love
I get it.
our viewers and our chat. They always keep us on our toes, Dave. You should see. I mean,
100%.
they are really nice to us compared to most esports uh, chats. To be honest, I've been watching the Dota International. 14,
They're
no,
pretty rough, aren't
$16
they?
million on the line right now, and yeah, the
Wow.
commentators definitely
Wow.
get their fair share alongside of the esports players, and
I would say
that
in that arena, no one is safe,
nobody, no,
right?
no one is safe. You
Yeah.
can do everything completely right, and you're not safe. You're gonna get raked over the
Still gonna get
coals.
hammered.
Look at this here, Dave. 1 second gap again over the top of here, trying to bring it back. It's gonna be Deborah from the KRT Rockets now, and 6 seconds back. Oh, Dave, Kent,
It's gonna
that
be
is a
tough.
big name. Williams is off the back as well, Dave. Maybe too much early on in this race. She was off the front over and over again. Tired legs. Mitchell, Cabot, Martin, Kent. Carly Johan is off the back. Hermanson maybe just struggling, Dave. This is no joke right now. They're really pressing on. They've seen that the split has happened. Dave, who is the instigators here? Van
Big
Houweling,
names.
perhaps?
What's interesting, Coralie is still here. She's gotten through the worst of it for her, so she's got to be licking her lips, having an opportunity to finish. Doni, another big talent, the Italian there. We haven't spoken much about them today, but we should be. The Castelli team is mega talents, but this is a who's who that we've got. No one's going to come back into this group, I don't think, Nathan, at
Has
this
Loker
point.
made this group?
She
Katie
is.
Loker
She's
has
right
made
there
this
with
group.
the
That is
Italian.
huge. That is
Actually, she just popped up. She's moving right to the front right now, actually, as you called her name. That's her with the headband there, right, with the UK flag.
So, Electric Spirit, 2 riders,
All group.
right? Yep,
Wahoo
2
Lacole
riders.
with 3
Wahoo
for
Lacole, 3.
WLC. Swedish Swifters, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yikes, 4. These Swedes, they are so talented. Between Denmark and Sweden right now, there's no question that the most esport talent in my mind is coming out of Scandinavia.
We've got Toyota Carduti have made it as well. Sock for Watts have a good representation. They've got Lethbridge.
They got
in here
Alice there.
still.
They've got Ruth there. Yeah.
Shire is here. Now to the front is these are 2 riders though I think that are very isolated when it comes to who's made it. Donnie here, as well as Nevin from Draft. I think they're the only riders here from
An
this
isolated rider
team.
is like a cornered wolf, dangerous, right? Because they're going to be unpredictable, and that's certainly I would expect Donny to be one of the riders that might attack this race late. They're down inside of 10K to go now, Nathan.
Yeah, and this is where we saw the attacks flying in the men's race, but it's very difficult to get away on this section. It was the men's race a little bit different than what we're seeing here with the ladies so far. They have been the ladies have
It's a
been
little more tactical.
Yeah,
I would
say
say.
that. Definitely a little bit more tactical.
The men are kind of right now just, throwing haymakers at each other. And I mean, either way, it's exciting. The women have been racing a little more with their head, which makes sense. That's that Grateful Dead song. That's right. The women are smarter. Well, they're kind of showing that out here right now, racing with a lot of intelligence as everybody trying to plan out this finale here. Again, the wild card's got to be Doni, the Italiano.
Yeah, what kind of results have we seen from Donny as of lately coming
So
from
I'm
that team
thinking
Italy?
back to some active rides from her in Grand Prix.
Ellie Donny, I think she's going to be able to do a solid 10.2 watts per kilogram, but she's got a really good FTP at 4.8. So if she doesn't
I don't think she
want
wants
to
to
make a
sprint with
move,
these ladies.
yeah, she tries to make
Nobody
a
wants to
move.
sprint with Loker. Nobody wants to sprint with Coralie.
No, and Van Houweling's got a 13.6, obviously. Loker, 13.4 when it comes down to the line. You've got Maria Holdcroft in here with a 13 watt per kilogram as well. Callie G from Synergy. Has she made it as well? Has Callie G made this front group? Because I'm seeing 0 seconds from her as far as the gap goes, but I'm not sure she has made this front group. I think the Synergy rider is isolated as I look through here. I don't believe there's another rider
Talking about
in that.
Holdcroft being isolated.
Yeah, I think Holdcroft is because she's the only one in that old school Zwift kit. So I have a feeling she is going to be the only rider from Synergy currently right now.
Well, if you're only going to have one, she's not a bad one to have. She's been very, very strong today.
I
But
think WLC
unfortunately,
have
the
to
way
make
that
a
this
move.
works is,
Honestly, I
and
really
the
do.
points is all about teams. To win this race today, you're going to need to have at least two in this group, or there's just not enough points. That's why you look at Wahoo Lacole. I would anticipate Lizzie Brooks going to try to make a bit of a move here late in the race, try to set things up for her teammate, that being Coralie Arthur. That would make sense to me if they organize something like that. As you've mentioned, they've always had great direction on that team as well, and they seem to execute at the highest level. This is where things stand. As so, Cryogen is right now going to be in quite a fight with Swedish Swifters to hold on. As Swedish Swifters are in good shape in this group, they've been scoring a lot of bonification along the way, and that's really the battle for the season. This is race 6 of 6 here in season 1 of 22-23.
Yeah, and looking at this front group and who's made this front group, Toyota Cryogen have one. How many riders have even made this group? I'm gonna.
Charlotte's there, right? Charlotte Kolkloff.
Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3 riders that have made this. They're maybe
That's
one of
not
the
bad.
most
I mean, so
represent. No, it's not bad at all. This is really
if
good
their three
representation.
have a good finish, absolutely. So you know what, Nathan, and you also have to look at if Swedish Swifters want to overcome Cryogen, they not only have to beat them, they need 2 or make it 3 other teams to beat them as well today. That might not happen, to tell you the truth. I mean, at this point now, Cryogen looks pretty good to hold on to the season-long title.
Yeah, just real quickly, I want to do a side by side
Could be a
here to
lot
take a look at
worse.
how
Let's
things
put it
have
that
played
way.
out so far. The segment points so far, Van Houweling, a little bit of attack here. Holdcroft synergy, solo rider right now, doesn't
This
have
is
any
not their
teammates.
problem. If you're Cryogen, this is actually just fine. Letting those first place points go up the road is good for them right now, as far as not letting the Swedes have them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They really got to be thinking about the Swedes, and they are in here. They've obviously taken a lot of points so far, 66 and 58 with Svartsam and Zarheed. And what are we seeing so far from Toyota? Toyota only with Coldcloth on the board with 12 points. Is that right? No, Klein is there as well, right? Yep, Klein is there as well. I think
Yeah,
Klein,
so
though, is Klein, I thought.
But again, so if you just base it off of against Swedish today on a team versus team, it looks like Swedish is having the better day. But that's not how this all works. It's a Chinese checkers. There's a whole bunch of teams that are playing for these points. And Wahoo Lacole's having a great day today, and they might get the better of Cryogen as well. But not all of these teams are going to get the better of Cryogen. I really think Cryogen's in great shape here. They've just such a tremendous team with such a strong ethos. And I have a feeling that, again, there's no point in reading the tea leaves. These races will sort things out. These are the gladiators of esports, and there's no gifts are given. So this will be
The only
well
thing I
earned
would
out
say
here.
is if WLC, Socks for Watts, and Electric Spirit Co., if they disrupt things with these points at all, that's where I think Cryogens need to start worrying, right? They need to think about beating those teams out. And if WLC makes some moves here, and here's the thing is that's worrying for Cryogen is that WLC are fighting for third right now.
So if
They're
Cryogen finishes 5th today and Swedish Swifters win, that's going to, and that is possible. That is an imaginable scenario. That will be a huge, but it's something that we just saw in the men's Africa race. Big changes
100%.
can
And that's
happen
where
in the final race.
WLC, I think, they're kind of their thorn in their side a little bit because
So
WLC
Swedish Swifters wins. It's going to be because WLC has a great day and Socks for
and
Watts has a
Socks for
great
Watts,
finish too.
exactly. Socks Watts, as well as Electric Spirit Co. Those three teams, if they put themselves between Cryo RDT,
Which is entirely possible. Those are
100%.
all teams that could do something special. So maybe I overestimated the strength of the position for Cryo, but I still think they're the
They're in
one
a good
team that
position.
controls
They're in
it.
control. They're in control right now still. They're in the right spot.
I'd
They've got
rather beat
riders
them.
here, right? They've got riders
Put it
here
that way.
still.
Yeah, I'd rather play with their cards than anybody else's if we're talking about winning the season, to be fair.
And Klein is still here. I was wondering whether or not she'd made this group. We're coming right down to it here, Dave. 5K to go or so. It's going to be a right-hand turn. This is the final real climb on the day. Just a little bit of a bump. Then they do a false flat over onto the dirt slash little bridge section over the water. And then onto the final of the Fuego Flats. And again, Synergy on the
Who
front.
attacks this, Nathan? Does Lizzie Brooke attack here?
It's a WLC,
I mean,
a WLC rider, because they do not have. I mean, if Coralie's got something against Van Houweling, but I mean, the reality is that Van Houweling and Loka are both 2 watt per kilogram higher than the max watts per kilogram of Coralie and the rest of WLC. I think WLC need to make a move with one of their non-sprinters and force the chase from Electric Spirit Coat so that Cora can sit in the wheel. You're right. And so then you may have something against the bigger kick. Exactly.
Agree.
Exactly.
I mean, if you do and get it right, she'll lick the plate clean, but it's definitely going to be a challenge for Wahoo Lakul here. And that's where the benefit goes back to cryogen, is maybe it's sort of that situation when you get 2 dogs fighting for a bone, a third one comes and takes it. And I have a feeling these teams are really going to start infighting with each other to try to win the day here. And Cryo might be able to just lay back a little bit, let that play out, sort of like letting the teams that want a stage win in the tour chase back the breakaway so that the GC team doesn't have to do all of the work. And I have a feeling Toyota Cryo is going to let these teams fight a little bit on the front. We're down to 4K to go, less than that even, as we're into the finale of this wonderful season of racing. There's a rider we haven't talked about much today, Goxe Paul of the Socks for Watts team, another emerging talent here in esports.
Goxe Paul making her way around the pack. Will she be able to pull something off for Socks for Watts? They've been a little bit quiet today. I think they've been sitting in the wheels.
Yeah, they have.
They make these, but they've made the front group though, Dave. They're there, right? Like, maybe that's exactly what they need, because there's so many points at the line as well. I mean, there's still 3 Socks for Watts riders here, Dave. And that's the thing. There's so many teams represented here. That's where Toyota Cryo DT got to really be thinking here. They've got 3 riders still. They got to get as many points as they possibly can across this final finish line, because so many other teams are well represented. This final kick, it really does matter. Like, if they just sat up and said, okay, roll it through, make sure we're in the top 10 or whatever, I'm not sure that's going to make it happen for them. This is a fight all the way to the end for them, Dave.
I completely agree, and all of these ladies clearly realize that. It goes into tactical mode, a bit of a standoff. The one thing that you get with so much talent distributed amongst all of these squads is that attacking is kind of out. And there we go, right on cue. We do have an attack going up the road, and let's see, who is this going to be?
It's Stelvio. It's Crouched Stelvio, and here comes, is that Donnie going as well? I mean, they are going here, Dave. I love it. This is going to be Harris from Crouched Stelvio. We were just talking about this, Dave. Big risk, big reward. We'll have to see Electric Spirit Code look to chase it down.
Best defense, a good offense. It's exactly what they're doing, getting out in front of the problem.
Absolutely love it.
Well done.
Putting on a show for us, Dave. This is so good here, coming from Harris now. Lucy Harris, Cryo RDT, pushing off the front. This is a rider.
Sprint. I mean, yeah, so again, we're about 2K from the finish, and they are going to respond, because if Harris were to just ride off the front and go win this race, they win the season. That's going to be, again, cover and kill from this elite front group here, as they are now flat out flying. It's finale time. Race 6 has all come down to this, Nathan. The big hitters are all here. We've tried to highlight the riders to watch and your wild cards out here. I got to say, Maria Holdcroft has been a phenom. I might even give her my breakthrough rider of the season here. On this, at this point, though, now I'm anticipating one last surge that sets up this grand finale here, Nathan.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, Coldcloth so far, she's been the standout rider for Cryo RDT, and Toyota.
100%. Charlotte is amazing, absolutely amazing talent.
I thought perhaps maybe they were trying to set her up for the perfect delivery there, where the rest of the pack would just roll her into the line, perhaps. Linda Klein is still here as well. She's got a 12 watt per kilogram kick. That's no joke. If she sets this up well. Is she really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a little push there. Certainly getting positioning.
Now it's spread across. Everybody looking at each other.
Experienced Alice Lethbridge is right there. Alice doesn't miss a step.
Look at these ladies. They have not given up the ghost. they're trying to chase this down. So they're not going to, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. 6 seconds up, but I love it that they've been
Still
chasing this whole
points, though.
time. Yeah, big
They
points.
still have points that they can add to their team's tally, so they know that they matter. That's part of the beauty of what WTRL has done. All right, Nathan, 1K to go. One to go here.
Dave, as you sit in here, Dave, you're just hoping someone makes a move and you can jump on that wheel and just draft into the line. Like, come on, somebody do something here that just, because you get to a certain point where you're within that 1K and then it's just essentially whoever goes first is the lead out train. Or they get a gap just enough and everybody doesn't respond. There's one or the other kind of happens.
Classic. The gunfighters now staring each other down and you just don't flinch, right? No one, and there it is. That's the move.
Donnie goes 7.8 watts per kilogram.
Surprised.
Very early here,
Ciao,
Dave.
Bella. The attack is gone. Arrivederci. Goodbye. She's rolling.
7.8 watts per kilogram, 7.6, 182 beats per minute. Here comes Stelvio now, 8.9 watts per kilogram. Holcroft also to the front, up and out of the saddle. There's the Avatar. Firestark starting to throw down. There goes the trails. Now Stelvio, they're trying to hold on, but this is Kolkoff waiting till the last moment, it looks like, to try and jump on the wheel. Here comes Liz Van Halen. Van Halen versus Holdcroft. Van Halen, Hermanson at the front. Now Van Halen sitting on that wheel, waiting for the last moment to kick. Now 12.6 watts per kilogram, but here come the Swedes. The Swedes trying to make it happen, but here comes Toyota. Oh, Toyota! Is Toyota going to do it with Klein? No, it looks like it's going to be Loker. Katie Loker makes it happen. Perfect timing. She's been waiting for that moment all season long. We haven't seen her pull off a sprint like that in quite a while. What a kick there from Katie Loker.
A lot of patience out there today from Katie, regarded as one of the best sprinters in the sport. Really benefits from having a teammate out there like Liz Van Houweling, Electric Spirit Co., having a great day. So I don't want to look into the crystal ball too much, Nathan. It's been an incredible season, but clearly Cryogen was up for the fight in the final day of the season, and always an impressive job. These women are the best. Awesome racing all season long. Looking forward to more with Grand Prix on Friday. And Nathan, we really move into what's going to be a tremendous next few months of racing out here. But let's go back and take a look at this is going to be the attack from Doni here, the Italian on Castelli that started things.
Yeah, and as you can see, it was Cryo that started the initial push to bring it back. Van Houweling is right on the wheel. And I want to just really quickly here analyze where Van Houweling sat, as well as Loker. Loker is way back, 8.17. She's not even orange numbers right now. You see that, Dave? Like back there, around where Lethbridge is, etc. Jarheed is there as well. Van Houweling follows Kolkoff's wheel. Van Houweling is not quite kicking at 12. There's the 12 watts per kilogram. She really opens it up now. The rest of the
Loker's not even in the... Yeah, I mean, what's incredible is watch this from Loker now.
Yeah, she's still pushing 8.6. There's 12 right there. Right there is where the 12 kicks. If we watch her watts per kilogram, and she's with the headband here. I'm going to just real quickly, I want to really analyze this just a little bit here.
She's seventh wheel at this point with 400 meters to go.
There's Loker, right? Way back here. What a well-timed sprint. I mean, this is really... class act.
She uses this group all the way through, staying in the draft.
100%. And as you can see,
she might as well have had a draft power up on when she came through. That's when the effort begins. Well, the final effort begins. What she goes ballistic at this point. That we've jokingly called her Ms. 14 because she can make 14 watts per kilo. Not many athletes can do that here. And this is what, when you've got that kind of power, you can do. Most folks only dream of this. That's her teammate, Liz Van Houweling, that helped set things up. And Katie is gone, baby, gone at this point. That's another level of sprinting talent there. Katie Loker's got some big wins in her future, but today was certainly one of the big wins.
Love to see the talent there and the timing. I mean, that was so perfectly executed. When it comes to the line there. There's the situation when it comes to across the line. I think if we...
Looks like Liz held on for second, although that's not assured.
Yeah, it's right. I think she did. I think you're right. And then Toyota Carduthi, Jarheed's there as well. The Swedes a little ways back at this point, I think. We do see two of them, Zardstrom and Zarheed. Not sure it's going to be enough. Toyota did grab some good points here as well. I think WLC
I
a
think they
little ways
saved
back.
themselves.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
They really needed to kind of have a not complete meltdown, but a semi meltdown to lose the overall here, and it didn't look like it wasn't even close to that.
we're waiting for results to populate here still, just so everybody knows. And here we go. We do have results. Go ahead and take a look at those. Dave, Katie Loka cross the line first. Wow, Electric Spirit go 1-2.
Yeah, so Liz did hold on for a second there. Liz Van Howling, always impressive. So what a day for Electric Spirit Co. Is it's going to be Linda Klein for CrowdGen. And that right there, Nathan, ought to save the day. I think great job by CrowdGen here. As Marlene Bjarhed, so impressive by the Swedes. She'll end up fourth. It's going to be Maya Brandfoot for fifth. And Wahoo Lacole has Lizzie Brook up there as well in sixth. Lizzie's not just a FTP athlete. She's got some kick as well. Anna Svartstrom in seventh for the Swedes. Ruth Shire for Sox for Watts in eighth. Maria Holdcroft, noted a big talent there for Synergy. Ninth for Maria today. And Coralie Arthur ends up in 10th for Wahoo Lacole. Look at Coralie's 3.2 watts per kilo to get there. So very efficient out
Super
there
efficient.
today.
Smart racing from Coralie, actually.
Yeah.
Really well done. Really impressed by that. There's going to be plenty of ladies out on course still. We could give you an update on the points, but because there are so many that are most likely still finishing, and these points all matter, as of that finish so far, Cryo have been able to hold on, followed up by SZ and then Electric Spirit Co., then WLC. As you can see, Sox Watts Astros, Team Castelli, Wahoo Lacole with WA3, Synergy, KRT, and Roca Corba. But this is without all of the finishers, most likely, as with 54
Odds
racing.
are pretty good at this point that even though those points trickle in, it's not going to change things
Not
for
going to
Cryo.
change too much. Yeah, not going to change things. Oh, yeah, especially not for Cryo. Especially not for Cryo. So that's most likely where things stand. Well, Dave, that is going to be it for this round one of season 2022-23 for the ZRL. We got a little bit of a break, but we're going to do a wrap up on the wrap up on the wrap for our I believe it's 14th episode. So it's going to be good fun. I think we're also going to be having Cy Bradley on soon, or maybe even on this Thursday. We'll see how that ends up playing out to talk about the future and the round number 2 and what's all coming at us for that. We've got Wednesday Worlds tomorrow. We've got Grand Prix for the men on Friday. And a little bit different format on Friday, Dave.
Yeah.
What are we doing? There's like a skirmish or something. Something about swords. I don't know what's going on with the skirmish.
Well, tune in. It's been so much fun with the new formats that our team at Zwift has been developing. And yet another new one to unveil for you here. What we're really looking at is the future of esports on Fridays. That's what Nathan and I are really happy to be involved with the Grand Prix. So, again, I can't wait for that. That's become my favorite race of the week. But Wednesday Worlds, Nathan, I'll see you tomorrow.
Wednesday Worlds, race like a champ. Come and rip my legs off, everybody. If you want to try and find some rankings as far as A goes, that is the place to do it. And then obviously we'll be doing the wrap with Anna and looking at the season wrap for ZRL round number 1 and then GP Grand Prix on Friday. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We have been live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, as well as where else have we been? Twitter. And you can check out the replays at all those places. Make sure to WTRL.racing for all of your racing results. And we'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday Worlds. As always, everybody, ride on.
Let them see your perfect imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your words. I won't let them take me. No, I won't let them break me. No one on this earth can bring me imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your